And then we skip down to the key 1, instructions is what they are. So for every key 1, make it a prospect that otherwise works like a catch-all. So no matter what, make that record a prospect. Okay, so now let's think about what I want to show you now is that not only can I default, let me get out of my screen design. Incidentally, let me show you just quickly. If you guys care to try this in your GoldMine, all you want to do, and I actually have this code pasted on our blog.marksgroup.net, so you can find it out there. You don't have to recreate it from scratch. Just open up a fresh new notepad document and then paste your text in there. But here's the caveat. When you go to save that into your GoldMine folder, Notepad wants to save it as a TXT document. We want it as an INI. So the way we save it is we save it as Lookup.ini with quotation marks around it. And that's the way you save explicit file names in Windows. You use quotation marks. Okay, so that's great. So we can add another field here. Let's say we want to default another field. We're going to default our account manager. Well, the first thing we got to do is we got to make sure we know what backend field name our account manager is. So I'm going to right click, go to my screen design. Okay, so that's key 4. So let's say that whenever I create a new prospect, Nancy should get those records. She should be the default account manager. Oh, I think it's a required field. Hold on. Okay, so not only do we want a new record to force key 1, now we also want it to force key 4, and we add fields to our new record trigger line by just delimiting them by commas. So we could say, you know, key 3, so on and so forth. In this case, we just want to add key 4. And now that we've added our key 4, so again, when a new record is created, GoldMine's going to think about key 1, and it's going to think about key 4. Well, it already knows what to do about key 1. It needs to know what to do about key 4. So I need to add a key 4 instruction block. So I'm going to say key 4. And in this case, I'm just going to say otherwise, Nancy should get it. Remember that otherwise is being a catch-all, and it's going to be a little more clear as to why I'm using otherwise in just a few moments. Of course, we have to save our document. And incidentally, after the first time your Lookup.ini is saved, remember we use those quotation marks to force the ini extension, you don't have to worry about that anymore. You just have to do it once. After that, you can just go ahead and save it. And I'm just going to go ahead, I'm altered, I just want to go back here and I want to open it up again. Okay, great. Changes. So we're going to create a new record, and this is our test 2. So you'll see here that every new record now not only gets set to prospect, they now get set to Nancy as the account manager. And that's all happening via this little bitty Lookup.ini. Incidentally, for those of you who may have older versions of GoldMine, the Lookup.ini has been around since like time immemorial, since actually version 3.2, I believe. So trust me, it's going to work. Let's look at a conditional Lookup.ini. So for right now, we're just looking at what happens when we create a new record. Bear with me. What I can actually do is test things. The Lookup.ini can actually be dynamic. So what I've done here, actually what I need to show you here is that, again, our new record is forcing GoldMine to think about key 1, and in this case, key 1 is just going to be prospect, no matter what. And then it's going to look at key 4. So in this case, our key 4 instructions are not so simple. So for every instruction block, we're able to have a lookup item. So it's thinking about key 4, right? So it gets down to this key 4 block and it says, okay, I'm going to look at who's logged into GoldMine. And the way I return that is I look at ampersand username. And if Justin is logged in, then return the value of Justin Hill. If C. Babka is logged in, then make it Corey Babka, so on and so forth. So the way this works now, let me put in one other here. If Bob's logged in, put in Robert. I'm going to go ahead and save that. So again, the key 4 is our account manager, and the key. Now again, when we create the new record in GoldMine, it's going to set our account manager based upon who's logged into GoldMine. And the way we do that is we say Lookup.1, because incidentally you can have this field look at many values. So you'd have a Lookup.2, Lookup.3, Lookup.4. That gets very complicated. Just stick with the 1 for now. Lookup.1 is looking at who's logged in. All right. So now if we create a new record. Okay, again, so now after I've restarted GoldMine, we're able to now test this. We're going to go ahead and create a new record. And we'll just put in a test contact. And again, the key 4 is looking at who's currently logged in. And you can always tell who's currently logged in here by looking here on the bottom right. So I'm logged in as Justin, so when it sees that, it will default key 4 to Justin Hill. So let's look at that. And okay, and there we are. So that's actually how you use the Lookup.ini to be more of a conditional thing. So whenever a new record is created, we always want to go back here to our auto update section. When a new record is created, it's going to think about key 1. And in this case, it's just going to throw in prospect. And then it's going to think about key 4. And when it thinks about key 4, it goes down here to look at the key 4 instructions. And then it says, okay, for key 4, I got to look at something, so I'm looking up based upon username. And then returning, in the case of Justin, Justin Hill, so on and so forth. So again, for those of you who are new to the Lookup.ini, I would suggest just starting out with a couple of simple default values, and maybe then eventually working in some conditional items right here. So again, I'd like to thank you all for coming. You can always reach me at justin@marksgroup.net, and I hope to see you all again next month. Thanks, and have a great day.